Okay, good. Good to hear. Good morning, Terry.
Morning, everyone. Good morning, Shalene.
Good morning. So, yeah, side note, have you taken the vaccine? Have any of you taken the vaccine? Or I'm just curious, not asking to take it or anything. I'm just wondering, or if you have it coming up or scheduled. I have not taken it myself. I registered for it, but I know each state is different and so on. But how about you guys?
I'm trying to register. My wife's actually a pharmacy taking the shot right now. But I'm trying to get on the list as an essential worker so I can take it.
I have not
Good.
signed up for it and do not plan to sign up for it.
Okay. I respect and understand that.
Well, in my case, I got the antibodies the hard way, so I don't think I'll be needing that anytime soon.
Oh, wow, that sucks. Well, but I'm glad you're still here, though, Charlie.
Yeah.
It could be
Yes, I'm
a
back.
lot
I'm
worse.
back 100%.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's a negative about a week and a half ago.
right.
It's all good on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week I feel sick, so I have to go for a test, but turned out like negative.
Good. We want negative. I hope you're feeling better though. You feeling better, Moses?
Uh,
Are you feeling better?
yeah, I feel better. Yeah, I was, like I was scared, so I went for the test, but good enough, it turned out negative.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, they checked all the antibodies, so everything was okay.
Okay. Very good. All right, team. So this is gonna be a fast meeting or quick one. I gotta get back on Boom. We have an all-day Boom meeting today, but I wanted to connect with you and share some of the communicate some of the insights and socialize with you a few things, and then of course open it up, see if you guys have anything in particular that you need help with. So to begin with, we are in process of changing the naming convention. Most of the team who are with the S&SI and moving on to the digital technical consulting. So that's going to be officially in the system starting next week. But as we've communicated before, this is more just to fit in with the naming convention on the global base. So S&SI, now Digital Technical Consultant, it's carry on of what we've been doing. Hopefully we'll see more execution on the digital side of the business, Industry 4.0, data connectivity, and then of course drilling down into our offerings and features, app space, GBCO5, activities and things like that. And then of course, not to forget or ignore the automation piece. So think of this, I'm sure you've seen the slide and where it shows Industry 4.0 on one side of the coin, the other side is automation, and then this ratio would vary. It'll be at times where we are heavily engaged with Industry 4.0 or IIoT stuff, and then or it might be more on the automation. So we play on those two, which these two things cover up most of what we do on the execution side. So I know this has been communicated. We've talked about it. Now it's in the system, but then everything else kind of again flows the same way. We'll work now, continue to work with our GBC 06, our system team, continue the partnership there. GBC 05, Alex is with us constantly, and we will just continue to leverage that and work together. The digital business consulting, Chris, Gary, DP, we're all in it together, right? We'll still be doing these pre-sales activities. We're gonna keep pushing forward for that, and it's gonna reflect on the team directly, so we can go and execute. The good stuff is, or the good news is, we always gonna be on the front end, whether learning a new system, learning a new technology, partnering with the rest of the team, and driving it forward. So any questions there or any comments from the team? Okay, so with that, that's the one piece I wanted to address, and then the other thing I want to jump right into is the competency matrix that we're putting together, and I think most of the team has already been contacted with Daniel, and you've seen this matrix before. This is something we started a while back, and now we're taking a deeper dive into it and making it more granular, intentionally granular. So I think you haven't seen it. You have an upcoming follow-up with Daniel, but for those who had seen it, if there's anything we missed, please bring that up. That's going to be a good tool to communicate with everyone else. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
I have not heard about that yet, but I think I've got a call scheduled with Daniel Monday.
Yeah, I think Daniel, we scheduled mine for Monday as well. I did see the email though.
Okay, good. Yeah, Daniel is attending a training today, but I think he's connected with almost half of the team and updated that matrix. This is going to be a living document that we will keep updating as we go, and it's going to be very helpful for like knowing who's who and what competency we have. Alex will share this with you, like I said, to the Browder team yesterday. We can have another version of this to include MPMs, include our technical resources, because we all work together on this, and it's up to us how we do it internally, right? With this SBB mindset, and for the customer, it's one voice, it's one tribe. There'll probably be, sure, we've been on so many meetings, probably 10 or 15 people from SIG, from many different teams, and trying to solve something for the customer. This will help us, navigate through this tribe and find the competence. And if it's something we don't have, it'll be a good assessment tool to set trainings and get up to speed there and upskill that.
Awesome. Yeah, please share with me. I'll put in the who and what I know as far as MPM and MAEs and all that. I'd be happy to.
Yeah, thank you. That'd be good. So yeah, that's in the works. And then a couple other things, just some of the highlights from last week's sales meeting. So the key takeaways is we have a great year ahead of us, and now is the time for being creative more than ever. It's again, with the pandemic and everything else, and the customers are trying to figure out what's best for their strategies, what's what's working, what's not. Same thing for us, right? It reflects directly on SICK as well, and it presents the opportunity, right? Once again, it's what can we do to solve these challenges? What have we learned from certain customers? Like what we need to continue on doing? Where do we need to pivot? It's just the sky is the limit, right? It's what is it that we can come up with, and put these ideas together. And again, it's ideal if we can take it to the market, but again, it's got to start somewhere. It might be a simple thing that translates into a bigger solution, but please keep that in mind. And what we're trying to do here to facilitate this is we're putting together the success stories and the projects that we worked on. So Charlie is helping out with putting those success stories under the company template, just as from the cosmetic stuff, and then we trying to animate these and make it relevant to a segment, or it could be across multiple segments. So we're busy, and everybody can contribute. We're gonna be reaching out. There's multiple team members are working on this, and by just providing data, providing insight, that's great collaboration. What we will do is we will take this and show it to the team. But there's multiple different things we're working on, right? It's I'm still tying here. How can we be creative? How can we take that learning and build on it? So it's as you see here, as you hear me talking, it's not one process. We do 1, 2, 3. It's a multiple different things together. So as we build this competency, that's one thing. We're making the projects and making it visible and transparent to the team. That's another thing. The third piece we're doing is we're putting together marketing material, working with the marketing team to facilitate this and communicate it to the broader teams from sales, and of course on the external side of the business, and driving these entertaining with the customers, also learning what's their needs and challenges, and trying to bring that back and come up with a solution. So again, it's one way of there's multiple different ways. So please, step up, and if it's something that you've seen that you tried it didn't work, we need to change, by all means, let's do that. Voice your opinion, come forward, right? One thing I want to ask you and keep stressing for is on this matrix, it might be something that you are passionate for. It might be a skill you have today. That's great. We will leverage that, but also as a part of the growth for you personally and for the business. And if we can match those two, that's a win-win. That's the best thing we can come up with. I want you to bring that up. Like say, hey, out of all these different things, these are all great, but I'm into robotics, I'm into vision, I'm into programming, I'm into whatever it is. Whether, again, if you have it today, if you don't, we'll work with you on this roadmap and try to get you to that level where you want to be. That's the flexibility that I love the most, is with this team as agile and as a startup mode and all these. It's actually, it fits right in with this need that's around us, right? So that's where creativity come into play. Please keep that in mind as you work with Daniel on filling that matrix. Highlight those elements. I'm here if you want to have a one-on-one or deeper session into that particular ask. Let's do it. And then this is all a good segue for an ask from our CEO during the sales meetings. Was two things. He said, we need to build up, each one of us within the organization need to build up their IDP, individual development plan. So that's a there's a in ADP, there's a form there. I think I've communicated with you before. I'll do it again, and you can find it through ADP. Please take some time and fill that up, and that's something I will just copy and pass what Tony mentioned. It's not just the professional side of it. This is all great, but he also said for him, he said he always liked to play guitar or play. I think guitar was one. He said he put it in his IDP. So make it personal. It's you, who you are, what you like, and then also make sure you know from the professional development and side of it, include that too. So be creative with that, and then we will help you, you know, to get to that point where you want to be. Again, I realize we're not doing a pretty good job with like trainings or certain things that we are doing, but we can always do better, right? So the IDP is one thing. So please, as a takeaway, that's one great takeaway for all of us. And the other one is the universal profile. And I think those two kind of go together. The universal profile, that's something coming up. So there'll be more communication on that. But what that really means is it's more like, I think we're like few steps ahead of it. I didn't know till last week when Tony mentioned about the universal profile, but I haven't seen it. But if I envision, it's more like that competency matrix that we're building, that we've been putting together. So perfect timing. I think that will translate. Maybe a big portion of that universal profile would be that. So it's good. We're already on that track, and those are two major things to take note of and fill out. So again, it's creativity. Bring your passion forward. Let us help you. Pair that with what we have. We've got flexibility for the most part, and then let's do it together, right? You have this tribe of people around you that are all raising their hands and saying, "Hey, how can we do this SBB thing the next 10 years, sick beyond border, and putting all these strategies together?" So there's no one clear process. There's no one size fit all. It just it's being built and it's coming from within. So yeah, again, I want to stop here and then allow you guys to, you know, either comment or ask questions and see, is this making sense? Are we missing and anything? If it's and how can we get, you know, practical? These are all good things, but okay, how can we make this? And please, you know, let me know. So what do you guys think?
It sounds like a pretty good idea. If I'm comprehending everything correctly, what's the end goal from a business perspective as far as S&SI and sales, and what do they want to be able to more accurately or I won't say match, but do they want to basically get the team, make them more versatile and what they, you know, want to bring or offer to potential customers? Is that the goal? What's the
Yeah, good question, Terry. So on the, and I think there's few pieces to it. I wanna, and let me know if I don't hit on all of them. From the business side, so that's where KPIs and utilization come into play and service trust, right? So
Yep.
for this year, we our KPIs are 70% for productivity 2, which that means it includes prod 1, the direct labor, plus the internal sales activities and internal offers that we do. It's all combined. In other words, it's or anything outside of the training or administrative work and TCB stuff, right?
Mhm.
So that's from a KPI side. The prod 1 is 50%. So it's an up. It's a lot. It's much more from last year, but the why is this and why we have this jump is because of this restructuring, and then the new digital business unit in place right now. You have a critical mass of sales. We are plugged in on the execution side. There's a digital business consulting. That team now is going to drive the digital consulting piece of the business towards that space. So that's should reflect directly on us and help with the utilization. The other one, that from a business side, there's the on the financial, the target for next year, I believe it's 390 or 393. I have to double check the number. So that's the overall goal financially, right? Budget wise. Now, what's the objective here is leverage our expertise, leverage what had worked through the journey for the last 3 years within S&SI, and also what's working with the other teams from a GBCO5 perspective and other systems where we come in and expand on it, make it more scalable. Use Stanley Black & Decker as an example. What's the twin for the Stanley Black & Decker? What's the other 2 or 3 customers that we can drive business and execute projects under? So we see that working. It's much better, but there's a lot of room for growth, and now everyone is tasked to drive that business and bring that forward. So look at what we're doing with UPS, the customer solution. What is it? CSG, Customer Solution Group, right, William? Or is it Customer Sales Group?
CSG. Let's just go with that.
So the CSG Group, yeah. So they're using us as a lead or as a prime contractor to go help them automate and optimize processes for their end users.
Mm-hmm.
And that could translate into anything from conveyors to print and apply, to you name it, right? A system whether we have or something we develop or whatever it is. So that's one piece. So we want to also leverage everything else we've been talking about and support the sales initiatives. It's a continuation what we've been doing. Now it's more kind of organized in a sense that, okay, these teams are dedicated to go in and drive that business, and by the way, it's going to be this customer and that customer and so on, and that's being worked on. We should know more as these nominated customers would be I'm talking from a digital consulting perspective, but the other ones, there's sales initiatives that the company is driving. I believe there's 25 of them for this year. So I hope this answered your questions. I don't know if I missed anything, Terry.
I think so. So just looking at big picture, for example, say with the bringing back to what Daniel's having us do, we get that form filled out more accurately, document, our experiences, competencies, etc.
Yep.
Then you take that information and say, for example, you look at you spoke of Stanley Black and Decker and the UPS project. Okay, well, Charlie has experience, for example, in maybe this area and this area. So maybe we could tap into his experiences and maybe invite him on some of the meetings, et cetera, and see if he has some ideas based on some of his experiences in working in those industries in the past to maybe come up with some new ideas of how you could, they could benefit from some products and or things like that. Is that how this is kind of going to work, big picture?
Absolutely, it can, yeah. And we kind of started that way, and we had that as an intention for these weekly meetings where we come in and either do an internal training on something defined, someone like an expert, and then he can take us through that. We can definitely open it up and say, hey, for the next session or in 2 weeks or whenever, say you, Terry, or let's say Charlie's example, say, I've had this experience with this customer, or it's something that I've been reading about, it's something that I'm passionate for. How about we can do 1, 2, and 3? There's no bad ideas. There's no limitation. It's an open, it's sometimes, as you see, it's very informal where we just chat and talk about things. We can definitely leverage the time for that use and be as creative as it can be. So absolutely. I mean, I welcome all of these ideas.
So how do you, going forward, if when you guys do have these meetings on, potential projects and things like that, how do you, get invited to these, meetings going forward? Who decides, well, this person or these people may have, some insights that we can, use during this meeting? How would that work?
Good question. Right now, it's kind of like a reactive more than versus proactive, and that's always going to be the case for some customers and some sales force. They come forward and say, we need help with this.
Yep.
And for the most part, I've been doing a lot of this, whether I'm sitting in these meetings and or I would pull a couple, and I try always to not limit it to one person, because even if you're just sitting there and listening in, it's good. Sometimes we overdo it. It probably sometimes it's, it doesn't necessarily need multiple people, but again, I do that sometimes intentionally. But what we'll do with this matrix now is one section, once you see it, it talks about the segments and the industry. So there'll be like, there's automotive, there's process, oil and gas, and so on, right? I think we have a handful of them. Maybe we can expand on it. And it shows like, okay, let's say Terry has experience with Amazon, right? Or with LA in particular, in general, and so on, food and beverage. So that would be, and the beauty about this team is each one of us have, this more strength in one segment more than the other, and these segments are huge. So that will be the go-to people that we say, okay, we've got this experience, we're going to take that, leverage that team or that person for that meeting. Now, it does not mean that if it's something interests you and something you don't have today, that's where I was going with it, is by bringing this, and we're going to do everything we can to bring full visibility, so you can, or someone say, hey, raise their hands, I'm interested with this auto coding thing or auto coding project. I don't have the experience with it today, but it's my passion. Okay, perfect. So I want you to, this is again for the rest of the team, and you can go back and highlight it or mention it to Daniel or myself, is exactly what we need, is understand that spark, that, passion, that inner thing that drives you and wants you to take part of that. And then we will facilitate the next steps, whether it's a training or sitting in a meeting or doing customer facing or shadow someone or there's a ton of different ways to do it. And we are wired differently. Something would work with you, maybe hands-on with others, and so on. So that's exactly that wide open transparency among us, by putting it there, documenting it, because it's hard to keep up with it. And if it's not there, if it's not documented, if it's not written, it doesn't exist. It's kind of still like we cannot assume it. So I want you to use this example to again stress that out, speak up, say what it is that you like for all of us, right? And take note of it. Good, great questions, Terry. This is exactly what we're trying to do. It's a lot different if we're all together. It's no excuses. Actually, it's an opportunity. It presents an opportunity every single day. But we want to leverage all these tools, whether it's Mosaic, as you guys see, we're trying to populate everything there.
Yep.
Use these weekly meetings, meet in between, schedule. There's no limit how we do it. But I'd like to have a structure to it in a sense that we have a matrix there now we can go to and update. We have a means of highlighting what's that next thing that someone would like to get to. We have that flexibility, right? And if it's something that's still gray, ask the questions. Let's communicate. Communication would help us get across almost everything. Let's stress that out.
So what capability will we have to say it's something that you want more work on through some sort of training from a systems perspective? Will we have the flexibility to do more like at one of our demo sites or something like that? Say something we wanted to try, you know, some sort of like integration in one of our facilities to enhance those capabilities that we're working on, that we want.
You mean like a hands-on lab
Yes.
type of
Mm-hmm.
activities? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Say, for example, you wanted to do so, like an integration project with like a for like Vision or any of them. You can go to one of our facilities to, you know, that we have a demo set up in there where we can actually do some testing and training to familiarize someone in the group that may not, you know, have that experience. Then that to me, that makes you more available for more of those projects that, you know, sales can offer to you, because you've had some recent training and you demonstrated that you can, you know, at least have a base core knowledge to, you know, apply to something that they may be able to use.
Yes, this is something. So definitely getting into a lab environment and working with these tools, that's, you know, the best thing, right?
Yeah.
If we can't do that like for almost everything we want, not that we cannot, we can do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at minimum we can, and there's a lot of activities going on in that regard where we will ship you the product, like a inspector or whatever it is, in this case a
TDC
Vision
or whatever. Yeah.
TDC, right? Whether it's a loaner or something that you would keep, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then equip you with that, and then have your own mini lab, if you would, and then have people on the other side to help you out. That's something we can do, that we can do every day, every minute of the day. The getting into the lab, we can leverage that where we have, like, let's say a project, and we've done it before, where we you would go in and spend some time with Anna or Vincent or whoever is actually doing the work, right? So we can facilitate that. There's opportunities there that we can do that. Yeah. I'm gonna go on. I'm being pinged here. This Zoom session, actually, I'm with George. I need to listen into this, so I'm gonna go on mute for like 5 or 10 minutes. It should be done, and then I'll come back on. So, guys, please carry on with this, and I'll be right back.
William, now we have to change all the S&SI titles on Mosaic to technical digital consultants.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I actually got my letter from Salim the other day. I gotta go scan it and send it back. But yeah, we are now digital technical consultants.
Yeah, I changed mine, I think 2 days ago, probably the same time, William.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, I actually booked some travel yesterday, and I had to go in and update my profile in Concur because they deleted the title, and I had to go back in and add, digital technical consultant to the title before they'd even let me book any travel. So you guys got
Oh,
some
that's
time.
interesting.
You can go ahead and log into Concur, and there's a profile area on there you can update, and one of the required fields is your title.
Okay.
But if you don't do it, as soon as you try and book travel, it'll take you right
Flag
to
you.
that spot. So,
Okay.
and it only took 30 seconds to update, so it's not like it's a big deal.
Right.
So yeah, I guess to carry on from kind of what Slim was talking about with UPS CSG, most of you know I'm pretty heavily involved in that. They've actually got me out doing site surveys and documenting processes these days. Delivered my first report to UPS end of last week, and we reviewed it this week, and they were very excited to see it, excited that it was that detail oriented. In this case, they'd sent me out to MyUS to look at a system that they put in with Cubiscan that MyUS was having some problems with. Been a lot of back and forth between MyUS, UPS, and Cubiscan on, the system not functioning properly, and UPS really felt like they didn't have a leg to stand on. So they kind of sent me out as a third-party observer to document, the system process, identify problems, and give some recommended solutions. And then last week, I went out to a facility on UPS's behalf again. And all of these are UPS customers that they're bringing us into. This facility has no automation, looking for, some ideas on, how to automate and improve their current manual process. So we're recommending a print and apply dim weight system, and as part of phase 1, because they have a 30% growth that they're going to hit here in Q1, and then more of a long-term solution because they've got another planned growth towards the end of the year. We're looking at a sortation system for all these prescriptions that they're filling, and they're doing like 12,000 to 20,000 prescriptions per day. So as you can imagine, without any automation, it's very time consuming to sort all of these orders by facility and get them prepared for shipping. And they've got a deadline to get the product out the door. UPS shows up and loads boxes, and at 8:45, whether they're done loading boxes or not, UPS drives away because they've got a plane to catch to make that next day delivery. So trying to help them improve that process. But a lot of what I'm doing right now, like I said, is just to define the problem, identify key areas for solutions, and it's likely to bring more work for us. I know UPS has engaged Cubiscan to maybe hire us to come in and do some of the upgrades to that MyUS system that was put in, and so we might have some slight PLC modifications, some hardware to install, additional photo eyes, some stack lights, that type of thing. So these have the potential to bring some more work to our team. On the CorrectRx side, it's probably going to be more of like a project management type project where, you know, we manage the integrators and the installers and just, you know, be UPS's front man so that they don't have to worry about it. So potentially they're looking at maybe sending, yeah, go for it.
Are they about the Cubiscan? Why are they sticking with Cubiscan? Do they want to, or have we offered them any alternatives as far as what we make? Or because Cubiscan, as far as I'm.
Yeah, Cubiscan is our competitor, and
yeah.
UPS, this project kind of kicked off and was signed off on before we started partnering with the CSG group.
Yeah.
So Cubiscan was actually the integrator, and you know, they did such a bad job. I don't think UPS is going to use them for any projects in the future. So we've kind of, they kind of shot themselves in the foot, and the work that I've done going in and documenting everything kind of made us look really well in their eyes. So we'll probably end up with more of the jobs than Cubiscan in the future, but it was just the timing and how things worked out.
Because I know that one of our equivalent is much better than that Cubiscan. I know before I left Amazon, we had those things in a corner collecting dust. They're horrible. You can just do a much better job. There's better technology out there. So that's why I just wondered if they were still sticking with them or not. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, Cubiscan, they put their stickers on the control cabinet and some of the conveyor, but I don't know if they put any of their actual equipment in. I mean, they were just the integration firm. I know looking at the conveyors, they've got stick photo eyes in the conveyor. They're TGW conveyors. So, but yeah, so they're looking to us to be, you know, we've kind of partnered with them pretty well. Between myself, Bruce Muir, who is the director of something here at SICK, but he's got 30 years of conveyance and sortation experience. You know, we've been out on more sales calls than we can shake a stick at in the last 2 months, just looking to see, you know, how we could help these different customers of UPS. You know, they've got this big push. And so, I mean, there's more to come. Now, as far as, you know, proficiencies, I know Salim was talking about, you know, all the trainings. I'm actually in the process of signing up for a Six Sigma Black Belt training to
William,
add some more weight to these types of analysis.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back, Salim.
Yeah. Thanks. Sorry, guys. I had to jump onto that, but I'm good now. I can skip this part of the boom meeting here for the next half hour or even an hour. So I like where this is going, and I don't know if I missed a question, but William, carry on with your thoughts there until you get to a stopping point, and then I'll jump in.
All right. Yeah, I was just kind of giving him an overview of what we were doing with CSG, and letting them know that, you know, I was in the process of signing up for that Six Sigma training to get my certification. And depending on, you know, how many of these UPS throws at us, you know, we might be looking for, you know, some more people to, you know, help me out with that. So if any of you guys are interested in getting a Six Sigma certification, doing, you know, process level documentation, you know, defining the problem, type thing, you know, let me know. And as, you know, this team starts to grow and, you know, we start getting more of these asks, you know, I'll be looking for some assistance in that area.
Yeah, definitely. I know that I would be for sure. So William, one other question: do you, when you guys go on these visits, do you take any pictures and like post them to any of the projects on Mosaic, or?
I haven't been posting anything on Mosaic because these have been going so quickly. I mean, I haven't really had time to slow down.
Yeah.
But I mean, Salim, if we've got, quick 5 minutes, I can run through just a high level of the last report that I've completed.
Yes, please. This is a good time to do that. Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
It'd just be nice for I know all of us to take a look at it, and maybe we can get some ideas to help you out as well.
Yeah. So I won't go too deep in this. I mean, this is like a 22-page report, not including the attachments. But I'll just give you a quick high-level review of what we did. Basically, I generated a problem statement. Being that they're having problems with their outbound system that was just put in, and they need somebody to come in, do an analysis, and document, problems that they were having. So start off with just a system overview, talking through how the system is set up in the building, defining common terminology so that further in the report, if I mention the northbound loading conveyor, this is the conveyor I'm talking about. This would be the south side loading conveyor. Just a high level overview of what's currently there that I was looking at. Get into the controls hardware. This is what was on site. These were, some of the things that you need to look at. A high level process map of, what's actually taking place in this area. The packagers pack up the boxes, they're placed on the load conveyor, the system conveys them to a scan and divert, and they end up being sorted and shipped out, just high level type overview. And then I went into, in this ask, they wanted me to document any problems that I found. So I, broke those problems into two different categories, which would be the root cause as I saw it, those being system issues. The first one, the camera's kind of offset here. Anything on the left-hand side of this conveyor is a no read. That's a system design fault to me. One, it shouldn't be on a curve. Two, it should be centered over the conveyor. This merge point, every box that comes on this merge rubs on this and it causes jams. The diverter, there's no, sort lane full, so the diverter keeps inducting packages, creates jams. These packages end up off the end in the incorrect lanes. But I mean, I just document, all these problems that I found. And then I get into operational issues. These are things that, the operator should not put an envelope on the conveyor. The system's not built to handle that. If you do have an envelope, don't put multiple carriers in the same one. They get missorted.
Right.
Don't fill up this load conveyor with this many packages, The packers don't care if the conveyor is on or not. They do their job, and their job ends with them putting it on the conveyor. That's an operational issue.
So they could use some programming changes for that example. Like if the conveyor were stopped, then they wouldn't be able to continue to put stuff on there because it would stop. And then if they were ready downstream,
they have 20 stations per load conveyor, and they're just people packing boxes, and they manually just set them on here. So, if the conveyor is not running, go find out why it's not running, or stack the boxes up different. It's something they need to fix. But yeah, I just document all the problems, took pictures, walk through everything that I saw, and then at the end, I come up with some recommendations for, how to fix some of these problems. And, I got copies of the PLC program. I've got lists of all the problems that I saw. I spent one entire day just watching the system and documenting problems. And that's kind of the analysis that I did. I spent a week on site collecting all of this information, and then, UPS paid us for my week on site, and then a half week's worth of time to do this report. So it looks like they're going to have a lot more of these coming. And the more they start coming, and as long as I can handle them, we will. If not, like I said, I'll be looking for some help to go out and do these types of analysis.
Yeah, for sure. That's like sortation 101. Yeah, interesting. You could lots of things you could do for improvement. I'm surprised that as long as they've been around, that they still operate at that level as far as that facility.
Well, that system was brand new, just got put in went live in November, right before peak season.
Yeah.
And they've had nothing but problems ever since.
That makes it even worse that it's brand new, because I mean, for example, putting a scanner on a curve, that's like the worst thing you could do as far as alignment, anything. That's like the worst area to put any type of identification, because it's not aligned. So yeah,
exactly. This is just a quick presentation that I threw together from my visit last week to this facility, CorrectRx. This is the one that didn't have any automation. They're looking for some ideas, and in this one, I really went in there just to define the current process. How are they currently working? They receive orders, they're reviewed by a pharmacist, orders are printed every hour and half hour, they fill the orders, they get checked by the pharmacist, prepared for shipping, and then orders are shipped. Layout of the building, and then this is the shipping area. This is where they think they have most of their problems, and it turns out to be one of the areas we could definitely go in and do some help. And I won't go through all of this, but as you can see on the side, this shipping area, this is the process map from the pharmacist signs off on the prescription all the way through, the item being shipped out. I mean, it's a very lengthy manual process that they've just got bodies doing this. So one of the things we're looking at doing, like I said, the first recommendation, let's put a dim weight and panda in. So we're working on a quote to get one of these for them. And then part two is, looking at some type of sortation facility. And, we'd look at, something where the pharmacist kind of stands up here to do his final check. They sign off on the prescription, put it on the belt, and then it automatically sorts it to the facility. And that really could potentially change their layout, improve their throughput, and hopefully help them with the crunch. But that was really, I spent a week on site just documenting their process, learning, how they do things. And that's, exactly what UPS is looking for us to do. Go in, qualify these facilities for, is there an opportunity, and what does their current process look like, and what can we do to improve it? So Salim, yeah, those are the two examples I've got so far. So like I said, if anybody's interested, as these get more and more, which it sounds like it's going to happen, UPS is very excited about this. We'll be looking for some help to, perform some of these site analysis and deep dives into customers' processes.
Great examples, William. This is good. I'm going to use this to reflect on, what we were talking about earlier. I was asking, and I'm going to leave you with this question, and I'll keep coming back, and to the point you tell me, hey, look, this is enough. But intentionally, I want to do that, and I'll use this analogy. I mean, look at what William is doing here, right? He's helping out a customer, an end customer, through UPS, right? UPS is looking up and for us and saying, hey, I want you guys to help us with this. And this all happened by coincidence. The Six Sigma, or this deep dive, the ROI, the process analysis, through a trip. And I don't know if you told the story, William, but I'm gonna skim through
No,
it.
I did not.
Okay, so allow me to do that and jump in right when need be. But I'm gonna share this with you because, with all honesty, it's exactly what I'm looking for, and without your help or without you opening up and saying it out loud and mention it, it's gonna be hard to pull. And this is what I mean by that. This competency, this skill set, this passion that William had, and you can see it. You see it in the report, you see it in his voice, you see it in his acts. It's something about the process. It's something that he's that detailed and that passionate for putting it together and coming up with the solution, right? Now, this is just very high level. There's a lot of details. There's a lot of skills behind it, but it's a passion. It's something that he likes it. I mean, and it's great. And if you ask me this, if we were to look at S&SI or DTC now or execution, whatever you call it, we don't have it called out that, hey, we can go do this analysis for you, Mr. Customer, and this is a charge for it. It just doesn't exist. But now, through that trip, I think William was with the sales force. They were cruising from one side to another, sitting in with the customer, talking about this stuff. And he's like, oh, I've done this before in my previous life or previous experience. And I can do 1, 2, 3. He's like, so it just clicked right on. And then the customer said, well, I want you guys, S&SI, SIC, S&SI, William in specific, come in and do this for us. It's UPS asking for us. Do they have that internally? Can they go in and get a consultant to do it? They can do all of that. But the idea is here, William managed to find that niche that can go in, help the customer, and it's a paid service. Okay. Now, and it's working, right? So my ask is for the broader team is, what is your niche? What is it that, if we look at this list, I'm going to pull it up. What is it that stands out? I mean, I'm on 2 WebExes. I want to make sure I don't, but I'm not listening for the other one. I don't want to share accidentally. So actually, I'm going to drop this just in case. Okay. You guys still there? You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I'm juggling here with WebEx. I've got 2 open. So with me, I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. Is it, you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we see your email open.
My email open. Okay. Well, thanks for
There we
letting
go.
me know.
Now we're on the Excel.
Okay. Good. That's what I want to show. So this is the competency matrix we're building with you, right? This is your data. And as you see it, it's broken down granular intentionally to all these things, right? If you haven't seen it, you'll see it on Monday with your follow-ups with Daniel. But if you want to take a peek at it, it's over here on Mosaic. I'll share the link, but it's under S&SI Experience Tracker. You will find this Excel file right here, detailed skill level. Okay, but I'll take you through high level here with that. Yeah, I recommend, even if you've done it, if you want to go back, revisit this or sleep on it till Monday, but come back and highlight or leave a note for me and Daniel. What is it that, again, that stands out of these? And there's a lot of things here. I'm not going to go to the detail level, but there's the SIC components, there's the Allen Bradley for controls, Siemens and other PLCs, there's this coding protocol, and for covering, all these major things. By no means this is complete. So there might be things that we either missing or didn't didn't put in, but we can grow this and add to it. But I believe it's got the majority of it. But again, it's not 100% complete. But it's captured all these things, right? In this case, coding and protocols. If I were to pick one here, I would say Python, which is a very common language that is needed now more than ever for this digital journey. It's one of. It's not the only one, but it's a common one among most of these. Now there's MQTT. Now we're talking about protocols, right? OPC UA. I mean, you guys know about these. I'm not going to drill down to it, but I'm just highlighting some of them, right? But you might say, you know what? I really don't like coding. I don't like this. It's okay. I'm just giving you the insights, and you guys can. I'm sure you're aware of this and what's going on, with this industry 4.0 and all that. It's a catalyst, and it's a need to be, if you want to grow in that space, if you want to get to the next level. These are the things or the prerequisites that you would need that will make you more successful, that will get you to that level where you want to be. But again, this might not be your passion. This might not be that's something that you strive for. So it could be on the cloud. It could be on the HMI SCADA part. It could be, fast forward here to back to William's example, is the program and project management, where we captured the Six Sigma or the Green Belt. If this didn't happen with William, most likely, if not ultimately, we won't even have this in here. And does this mean that everyone is interested with this or should be interested? Absolutely not. But if someone has that interest, and William, as you fill it, I'm sure yours will be populated here. It's something something you strive for, and then we're gonna keep that and upskill that to get that certification for you for the Six Sigma, as an example, right? And then the list continues. There's auto coding, like I mentioned, and then here there's that industry that I told you earlier. 32 question. What is it that we bring in, right? What is that industry experience that we have? And I used automotive as an example, and so on. Now, should we add more to this? By all means, as you have your follow-ups with Daniel, we can always add it. This is not set in stone. This is probably, I don't know, 85, 80%, 90%. Maybe in 2 months, this probably be 70%, because there's something disrupting the market, and so on. So the idea is, again, look through this, please digest through it, sleep on it for Monday, or if you're ready, just again keep that in mind to say, hey, I'm super interested with or passionate for whatever, for which one, anyone, right? I don't know. Every one of you have something that stands out, but that's the idea. One piece of it. It's not just for the sake of that, but if we can pair the two together, beyond that, it's everything would be much easier, because you will drive towards that. We will set you with the tools. We will prep you and equip you, get you on that roadmap for success, and help you out. But if we don't know it, it's going to be, again, it's hard. Now, with the same token, this is all nice. It's good to have. We are, blessed and lucky to have all this flexibility across all of these. But there's also the business needs. Like today, I'm going to just tell you with full transparency, full disclosure, we are light on the projects. Okay, I don't expect this to be the case for a long while, but for this quarter, we don't have this backlog. We don't have these projects to go and execute. So we have a choice to make, right? And what I mean by that is there's training sessions. There's these. Some of us might be busy with certain things, but we can laser focus on these buckets and and match it, with, of course, with the business needs and the passion from your side. And almost everything you see here is a need, but it's prioritized, right? And the customer plays a big role in that. So that's one piece. The other thing, speaking about the capacity, I'm working with the other partners, in particular with the LTS group. They have a need for supporting them, for example, on the GM safety projects where they do the auditing, or it's not validation, it's not safety, it's more like process checkout or validation, but doesn't need or require certification. So they expecting a wave with projects that they need help. So we're gonna have some of our team get trained, and the training is just like one day training. It could be WebEx, and the other day would be shadow someone, and then it'll be afterwards based on the project. There's no schedule set yet, but we want to get that training out of the way and then help them fill in that gap and support these projects. That's one thing, until we get caught up with the projects. There's also on the execution side with the LTS group, they have, outside of safety, they're executing LA projects, and they need help with some of those. So if we take, for example, this week, and Daniel is sitting in a Tri-Spector training. It's an in-person training. It's up in Bloomington. So we only, by just talking to Doug and Dale, we learned that they had one opening, one cancellation. And long story short, we managed to get Daniel to attend that training in person. It's a Tri-Spector training. They have a series of other trainings that are coming up, and I'm working with them on getting that schedule. And then we're going to have some of our team also go in preparation to help them down the line with supporting these projects. Now, we're doing this to get busy, get utilized, also trying to get on these projects that would step us into when we do a broader execution, then our team would have that competency, whether, like I mentioned, Tri-Spector is one example, it could be any other technology. So there will be some of those coming at you. There's a Vention training that Nick is helping us with, and I asked all the team to sign up as your schedule permit. There is the Python training that I know, Charlie, you're getting on some of those trainings. And there's many more. There's this certification that William talked about. And again, much more trainings that we can get into. We're going to be creative, also focused in a sense that, okay, what's coming up? What are the short-term needs? What are the long-term needs? And that's where your IDP comes in, right? So I know I'm throwing a lot of things at you. I'm just being very open and transparent. So we're trying to get the business and get these projects. But until we do that, we're going to get trained. We're going to have to fill in some gaps and get utilized, because we're going to, keep up with our productivity 1 and 2, and step it up till we have enough backlog where we can support or carry on with execution or Industry 4.0 projects. So is that making sense? I don't want to be just going through all of these things and mixing it up, and I'm just trying to connect the dots and telling you where we stand and what we are doing about it. Again, it's a team effort. So I'm asking all of you, whether you're filling these forms or you're taking charge of certain things, step up, say what you can help with, say if it's something that doesn't make sense, and we'll pivot and we'll pivot quickly. So thoughts, comments, questions?
Is this form that we're looking at right now, for those, Celine, that haven't had the meeting with Daniel, can we fill this out now in Mosaic, or do we have to wait until we have the meeting with Daniel?
You know, take a look at it. You can fill out your version so you'll be ready. But there's a lot of intentional questions. Daniel and I spent enough time going through it. He's putting it together nicely and keeping up with it. But we've spent enough time to get on the messaging. Like there will be some questions, and it's a dialogue. It's not like just filling it in quickly. It's like take the time. I love the idea of taking a peek at it, load the file. Maybe you can fill it up. It's all good, but come with this open mind set where to stop on the things that you strive for, whether you have today or something you want to get into.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to ask you for. And the team that done it already, now that we've spent the time and hopefully it's a little more clear. If you want to come back and revisit this or highlight certain things, by all means, please do that. And it's again, I'm gonna be using this heavily for a series of things. For all the reasoning that I mentioned, for internal marketing, we're gonna take this for external marketing. This is gonna be more the granular level for us. This doesn't mean like, if we're sitting with sales, we don't necessarily have to go and to this level of detail, but it's more for us. And then also equally important, we're gonna highlight the ones that we don't have that competency today and figure out, okay, what does it take to step up and get more experience with Python? I'm gonna work with Charlie. Charlie, I've told you this, but I'll work with you on this one in particular as an example, and then we'll put some training folders with some links. And I've done some homework and research there for, let's say, for Python. Where do you go to? Because this could be as broad, and it's like we're gonna be also reasonable with it, and we will share those training modules. We'll share those links with the rest of the team, and as you guys go through it, you will also learn, and you also find some other tools. Keep sharing it with us, and then we'll keep updating those modules or those placeholders. So what we'll use is we'll use Mosaic to have these training titles or content within that, and then share it always with the team. So it's always going to be there. Same thing goes for everything else.
So Salim, Charlie, is that something that with the Python, is that something that you're doing on your own, or is that something that you're doing through SICK as far as that training?
Well, in my case, I'm trying to find any of those free courses online, because most of them that have the more advanced courses, you need to pay for them.
Right.
But I'm also trying to see if I can find any advanced material for Python that doesn't have to be paid for.
I've seen some. I think you have to pay for them. They have them like all over the country. I was looking at something like that a while back. I don't know if you looked at them already, but in the event, Salim, that we do pay for them, will SICK reimburse us for taking those courses?
Absolutely, Terry. I will not ask anyone to take any of these courses at their expense. We will work with you and facilitate that. That's what we're trying to do. So you guys don't have to worry about it. It might be something, let's say I'm going to use one like MySQL, for example, right? Where where you say, hey, there's this training or this certificate that I need to that I'd like to get into, and then we take it from that point. We just learned, by the way, the one for Six Sigma, the black belt. So it's there's a process for it. There's a mechanism to do it and sponsor it. But we want to make this as easy and flexible for the most part. There might be some unique ones, right? But again, we have the mechanism to do it, and have it at your fingertips, where if it is one of these interests, we'll facilitate that, and then you guys can go on and take that, get the certificate, get the training, and get that competency. So we will work with you, Terry, on those. We're starting to kind of put and populate this. There'll be some under CQ. There'll be some at I think Code Academy and others. There's a lot of free ones.
Mhm.
I'm personally connected and joined one of the there's one of these companies that are doing these type of things. I'm doing that at my expense. It's just something that I'm getting more up to speed and expedite
Okay.
the learning and finding what works and to get all these to get through the shortcuts and then make it easy for you guys. So, but by no means, like, I mean, if you know of something, bring it up and then we'll look into it. If we don't have an alternative, we'll definitely go with that.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, the last thing is I want to, in this case, I'll work, for example, with Charlie. So we'll put those for Python. We'll put the ones for Vention. We'll connect with with internal teams. What is it that we have today for AppSpace and others? We don't want to recreate or reinvent the wheel. We'll say, Sorab and Alexander, what material do you have? We'll just put the link and facilitate that training. So it's easy and smooth for you guys. And then with the same token, we want to get you if it's a product or if it's a software or whatever it is that you need up front, we want to work with you all and help facilitate that up front. So when that day comes, you're ready, you have everything you need, you're connected, you get all that stuff out of the way, and just focus on the training. So we will take all that burden from you and help you to get to that point. Okay, so great questions. This is good. I mean, I love where this is going, and I think we're up to something good here. We have tremendous amount of experience that within the team. We learn every day, right? We're all lifetime learners. We have that opportunity to learn on specific things, learn on things that you love the most, and make sense and directly related to the business. And I mean, really the sky is the limit, right? So these are what we're busy doing, right? In a nutshell, getting intentional, getting reorganized, collaborating, facilitating through the means and the tools, whatever we have available, stepping up that competency, getting the help with marketing to take these success stories and the offerings and broadcast it externally and also internally. I mean, a lot of things, but it's just we want to keep that momentum going. We want to equip you with all these things. We're gonna fill in some gaps with until we are fully utilized. We're gonna leverage all of this, and there's no one right way to go about it. It's just we can do it through communication and collaboration. Those are two major things. I think they will be our key for success. Other questions or comments? Is this clear? I know it's a lot of stuff. I mean, again, this is the time and the forum to address and talk about it. So if you just you want to say something or want to add something, please get off mute, voice your opinion, share your thoughts, and let's do it. If we're doing something too fast or something that's not that clear, help us out by just pointing it out, and like I said, we'll pivot. We can easily adapt, and that's the beauty about this whole team, right? We're agile enough to kind of pivot quickly.
Salim, just an idea. On our S&SI page, we can probably add a link to a separate training page where we can add all that documents and links for the training for Python. I don't see any on our page. I don't see anything like that at all.
Okay, good point. Let me see.
Yeah, we have a training page that we can add those types of links to, Charlie. So if you find something that you want to add to that, just let me know, and I'll take some time, walk you through how to create a page, and we can just have maybe a page that just contains link to different training opportunities that you've come across.
All right, I saw the link. Yeah, it's true. I have an S&SI.
Yeah.
Also, looking on the front page. Sorry.
No, it's a good point. And then, yeah, we will. There's a lot of good stuff here. TDC demo. There's some meeting notes. Maybe, William, maybe we can do some restructuring here if now that we're growing this, and have it, like to your point, maybe in subfolders. So it'll be one folder here if someone wanna just get into Python, for example, right? And use that as an example, Charlie. We'll start with that one. And also that Vention training. I think you have the modules in your Dropbox. So it'll be nice to have these icons, and then we can expand on it and get into that. It is more cosmetics. We just wanna have a placeholder for it and leverage, these dashboards, or I should say these mosaic pages.
Salim, is there a full schedule of all the, well, I should ask, are there going to be any other dates for the Vention training? I think they only have a couple of dates listed, a few days.
So I think they do this, and Nick is not with us, is he?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I believe they do this quarterly. I'm not sure. Don't call me on it. As there's one piece. There's also the recording and what I was referencing here, the Vention training. I think there's modules there with recorded sessions and the documentation. So there's that. But if I know it's always good to kind of have that interactive, right? Do it live. But I'll check in with Nick when they do the next round. So if you can't make it for this one, it's okay. We can set up for the next one.
Okay. Yeah, I tried to do the one in October, I think, but there were some other things going on, some other projects, so I couldn't really get too involved with them the last time it was offered.
Okay.
And then for this next one, I'll probably be doing some trainings, I guess, with Mercedes. So that's why I asked if there was a schedule of, alternative dates.
Okay. William, I don't know if you see this here, annotation request from, I don't know what that do. Is that because of both of us are opening the, are you seeing this annotation request?
No, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Okay, I guess I can only see it. There's a annotation request. I think Muhammad is requesting to annotate the shared content. During annotation, you cannot control the shared content until you stop annotating. I don't know. What are you trying to do, Muhammad?
I just did it mistakenly, Salim, so I don't mean it.
Okay. All right. I'm just learning. I know there's we should be able to both work on it. So okay. All right. Yeah, no problem, Muhammad. So yeah, this would be a placeholder here for the training. That's a good question, Charlie. What else? Anything else on that topic? Okay, so
Hey Salim, just
yeah,
very quick here.
yes, please.
I know Terry was asking for future trainings and whatnot. On SICUS and SICU, SIC University, there are some trainings there. Like one time I was interested in Java, so there are a couple videos and exercises. So possibly there could be something for other topics, you know, for example, Python and whatnot. So it's worth checking. SICU.
Okay,
Yeah.
good point. I like that idea. And then for the team here, like let's again use this as an example. And this is the beauty about these conversations, right? So on that list, there's a lot of stuff, right? And just under coding, there was just 10 plus different languages, and I think we have the protocols there. But on the coding piece, take that Python for example, right? And we used Charlie. We learned that Charlie likes these languages more like a hobby, right? It's that passion and that hobby that sits within. So whether we're using Python or not, Charlie is interested with that, and it's something that he always look up for. So by using that example, so Charlie now he's gonna, it's not, and I don't want you to think of this way like well, I was working at other companies before, and then if it's something you bring up or if it's something you say, then you're careful with it. I don't want to do that, but I'm using these examples in a sense that so Charlie is probably more intimate with certain things. uh, you, Abdul, would be intimate with other things. I want to use your help, right? And from these learnings within the team, we will find these more suitable ones. We want to take the time to vet it out, so we're not all looking for all these options. If it's something in CQ, that's great. All we got to do is take that, put a link, and guide you guys to it. But we were using it together, right? So that's the idea. um, Same thing applies for the other thing. Outside of these trainings, if we look at um, let's say on the licenses topic, right? And Daniel is now putting this and if you haven't got with him, or if he needs some input, please equip him and help him with that. We're building that matrix to point out what hardware do we have, what software do we have, what licenses, and then make it easy to kind of pull on demand, right? These licenses. So this is relevant in a sense. Let's say if someone is interested or want to learn Siemens TIA Portal, okay, that's good. What are the tools that we have? Do we have the PLC? Check, we have. Where is it? Well, it's look at you're gonna be able to look at that, and I think it's here. But navigate through. I think it's another page, but navigate through that Mosaic page and find, oh, okay, Abdul has that TIA Portal, or that PLC, I should say, the S1200, whatever it is. And then who's got the software for it? Get all that, pass it on to Eric, if Eric happened to be interested with it. And then we'll equip him also with the training material. That's the idea, is connecting the dots and facilitating this across the teams in the most trying to get it as smooth as possible, put it that way. So yeah, I mean, Charlie, we gotta look at the CQ, see what's there for Python. Like I said, I've got some links. you guys shared some of these links on the chat, so we'll capture those and then facilitate those links and the documents out to the team after we vet it out.
Salim, also, are they doing some type of update on the SICU platform? Were they going to change some? I think I read an email regarding some changes coming up to the SICU platform.
I'm not sure, honestly. Did you hear something? Is that what you're asking, or is it not available, or?
No, I read an email some time ago. I don't recall when, but it was regarding some changes on the SICU.
Okay.
I don't know if they're going to move it to Mosaic or if what are the plans for the platform at all. I'll see if I can find it and maybe get some feedback on that.
Yeah. Find it and send it to me, please. I'll check with Barb and the team that's leading that effort and ask them. Maybe there's a matrix. I think I've seen a matrix sometime last year. Maybe easier to navigate if we want to do a quick search. If it's not easy with SICU, so we'll get into that offline and highlight those training modules, right? And have the links ready. So yeah, let's do that offline in preparation for this. And yeah, the other ones again, we'll come to you on some of this stuff to help put it together. I mean, Mohammed, you've had that package from Rockwell when we did that project for Rio Pinto. So it was a learning experience, kind of putting it together. Now we have it, it's in-house. We just want to capture it and make it easy. Say Terry needs that software or that license, right? Then we can just facilitate to him, and we don't have to wait it out or worry about it. Another example. So Eric, you might have those through Nick with the PLB, PLR. So we're not always struggling to find that information and look for it. It'll be hopefully readily available and have that point of contact to kind of help navigate, get to it. And then if it's something we don't have, right, and we need it, there's going to be some urgent needs, we're going to take that output from this document the competency, and say, hey, we need this, and this is what it takes to do it. And then, we have a mechanism, been working with William and through our capital budget and all these other things that you don't have to worry about it, but we will get that sorted out and get that software or license ready and available for you, like we've done it for other ones, right? With Siemens and Rockwell, and there's AutoCAD, I think, is the next one that we need, and so on. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, very good. Last but not least, and this is something just from a high level, I think I've showed you this before. Are you seeing this Excel sheet, the roles and responsibilities? I want to make sure my screen is updating here.
Yep, you're good.
Okay, so what this is, it's another living document. Now this one in particular is with PCA, and you see here DTC, that's us. So we are putting this together with them. This is not a formal or official final version of it yet, but this is the roles and responsibility matrix, like who's who and who takes care of what, and it drills down to all these teams. Again, this is just from high level, who's engaged, who's doing what, who's leading, who's supporting, who owns the project, who's accountable, and then here we broke it down into a pilot mode or a repeat mode when it gets into a final system that we can replicate across that particular segment or with customer, and doing the handshake between in this case, PCA to the DTC team. So this is in the works. I would say this is like 80% done. We just want to get the blessing and approval of our management. So I'm going to work with Cam on that piece. And then also from PCA, we will get their management approval, and this will become a document that we can reference and say, hey, if this is a repeat project or system, then this is the process to go about it. This is how these teams collaborate and work together. This is who's supporting and leading and all that. So we will, again, share this with you once it's finalized and approved. And we'll have one for projects, whether it's vision or data integration or similar things with the digital consulting team. But this is an ongoing effort, and we're finding this to be a very helpful tool that defines those roles and making sure that it's taken care of and someone is taking the lead and it's all captured. So that's pretty much all I have, and I want to stop here, see if you guys have anything. If you have got questions on this one, we will do a deeper dive into this once it's all said and done, and start using this to help facilitate with these collaboration modes, right, with different teams as we tie to a lot of cross-functional teams. Okay, team. Any questions or any last-minute comments or notes here? Okay, I think we are good. So with that, I want to thank you again. Appreciate all the questions, the great productive meeting. I'm sure you're gonna have more follow-up questions. That's totally expected, and we're gonna use all these things to communicate and help facilitate our daily activities and short-term and long-term objectives and goals. Please come forward with these, all these questions or anything you have in mind, and let's pull it together. So appreciate it, everyone.
Thank you, Salim.
Thanks, Salim. Thanks, everyone.
Happy weekend.
All right, team.
Have a good weekend.
Rest of Friday, and have a great weekend. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.
Take care, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Hey, Salim, quick question for you before you jump off.
Yeah.
Did you get that email about the Six Sigma training? Was that kind of what you were looking for?
I did get it, but with all honesty, I didn't go through it or reply. So yeah, we've been let me do that today, right? It's